filmmaker, fellow at the conservative think tank, the Discovery Institute. And Christopher, it's great to have you with us. Let's start with this nonsense with a critical race theory, the social justice nonsense, in my opinion, because it is tied to these Marxist groups. You know, you can deal with all of these issues, civil rights, human rights, however you want to style it. But when you start telling people how to think and changing what is fact in your presentation, as we have seen in so many places, including the federal government, universities, every American should be very alarmed about it. Most Americans are great people. They don't like racism in any form, anywhere, or any less do they detest it than anyone else. Your thoughts about what you've been able to achieve, particularly at the university level, and moving critical race theory out of the higher education?
Yeah, what we've seen is that when progressives and academics and media elites frame the discourse in terms of their favorite euphemisms, they do quite well. But what happens when you hold them down to specifics? I've done that through my investigative reporting. And when you actually penetrate through the euphemisms and actually ask real questions, their positions just collapse. They're not popular with the majority of Americans. We see that with the NBA. We see that with other woke corporations that are signaling to their counterparts in the elite media in the DC-New York corridor. But what plays well in the kind of hipster boroughs of Brooklyn doesn't play well in middle America, where the vast majority of people live. And I think the goal is really to tackle this problem head on, to break down their euphemisms, break down their manipulation of language, and expose the actual core ideology to the American people.
Give us a quick example of language that you're referring to.
Yeah, in the presidential debate, it was, racial sensitivity training. That was kind of the smokescreen euphemism for critical race theory. We've seen it as when violent riots become mostly peaceful protests. These are all a kind of form of linguistic manipulation that tries to kind of hide the truth and do it in a pleasant-sounding way to persuade people. But again, you have to really hit people with those specifics and uncover the language for what it really is.
And how much progress is the country making in getting people to understand that this is a disinformation campaign? It is actually, it's very typical of a disinformation campaign in any country. Give us your view on that.
Well, it has to accelerate. Frankly, we are in the midst of a very important election. We have only weeks to go. The president, Republicans, and conservatives need to put this into high gear and expose what's really happening on our streets and in our cities before it's too late.
Yeah, the problem, those most complicit in pushing this project happen to be the corporate-owned left-wing media. Christopher Rufo, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Look forward to talking with you soon. And a reminder to follow